Welcome to the Path Podcast, where we will travel the lives of some bold women, from dreams to detours to destiny. She did not choose this path chose her. This is the Path Podcast. Welcome back, Path listeners, to another episode of the Path Podcast with your sister, your motivator, your confidence builder, the one who believes that purpose is bigger than obstacles. Path listeners, we are in the fourth quarter of the year, and I knew I wanted certain guests to come on to help us close out the year. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss an episode. Path listeners, if you've been confused about this fad diet or that one, carbs or no carbs, whether eating at night is bad, I promise this is part of the reason I wanted to bring my guest on. But that's not all she does. My guest today has the receipts to come with helping us move forward in this nutrition world. She is none other than Dr. Nina G. Hall. She is a registered dietitian nutritionist. Let me tell you a little bit about her, because like I've said, she comes with the receipts. Dr. Nina German Hall, founder of Nina's Nutritional Values, LLC, is a registered dietitian nutritionist who has been providing nutrition care for people of diverse cultures for 12 years. Nina has a passion for healthy eating and encouraging others to adopt healthier eating habits, while at the same time making them realize that eating healthy does not mean sacrificing flavor. I think we need to hear that.
Again.
Her areas of expertise include nutrition counseling, weight management, medical nutrition therapy, personalized meal planning, corporate wellness, and clinical nutrition. She encourages clients to make positive, lifelong eating and physical activity behavior changes. Everyone, again, like I said, she comes with so much. We're not just going to talk about our eating habits, but that's what a lot of us look at. But she'll tell us there's so much more to nutrition for us to hear. And we may not be able to get it all in this one episode. I can promise you that after I did some of my research. But I have to just highlight some of her education. She has her BS in microbiology from the University of Alabama, her MS in biological sciences from the University of Alabama in Huntsville, MS in human environmental sciences, human nutrition from the University of Alabama, and her PhD in nutrition sciences, research focused on the effects of polyunsaturated fatty acids on human breast cancer cell adhesion from the University of Alabama at Birmingham. Y'all, it took a lot just to say that. So that tells us how much she's coming with. She also has a dietetic internship program she did at the Southern Regional Medical Center. Along with all of that, she continues her education at various conferences and seminars throughout the country regularly, and has presented on an array of nutrition topics at national and international conferences, colleges, health fairs, churches, community events, and schools. She's a member of all the different boards out there, everyone. I'll say boards, but I want to just highlight them also. She is a member of the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics and the Georgia Dietetic Association, the Greater Atlanta Dietetic Association, and the National Organization of Blacks in Dietetics and Nutrition member interest group. She is licensed to practice in Georgia, Alabama, and Tennessee. And if you go to her website, she will tell you that connect with her if you're in a different state, because she can offer you information to see what she can do to help you, or that goes in lines with her being licensed. But everyone, I just had to read that. I try not to read everything about my guests, but I know we needed to hear that this person is someone who has done the work to help move us forward. So right now, everyone, I want you to help me welcome in, because I've been talking long enough, Dr. Nina Hall. Dr. Nina, welcome to the Path Podcast.
Thanks for having me, Arlene. It's my pleasure to serve, to be here.
But no, it's my pleasure that you said yes. And when I met you a few months ago, the one or two people I know who spoke to you spoke highly of you. And I never got a chance to sit down to talk to you that day. We met at a conference, everyone. And I'm like, at the end of the year, this is one of the people I know I want to talk to. And when I read all of your information, I'm like, yes, oh, we need to talk to her. We need to talk to her. So, past listeners, for the sake of time, let me tell you what we're going to talk about. We may go into some other things because Dr. Nina will know more too of what we need to hear to help us move on this nutrition, healthier way of living. We would talk about the path that gave Dr. Hall the strong desire to become a registered dietitian nutritionist, and find out why there are the reasons some ethnic groups are more prevalent to health problems, African Americans in particular, because I am African American, and and provide the appropriate counsel with that in mind. The diet culture and what that is, what simple dietary changes we can start today that was put us on the right path to good nutritional habits. We were talking about Dr. Nina has something called Dr. Nina's 7 nutritional values, and how Dr. Nina can help you transform your life the healthy way. Okay, Dr. Nina, here's one of the things I love to start the podcast with. Tell me about the younger Nina, the one who became, before she had all of these degrees behind her name. And everyone, I had to say that for her because sometimes, we don't talk about ourselves, but she put the work in. So we have to, give respect to that person when they put the work in. But tell me about the younger Nina who thought she had life all figured out. What were your hopes and dreams, and are you
well,
doing it today?
well, I'll tell you, the younger Nina had was definitely not focused on dietetics, and the younger Nina probably would not have had all these degrees either, because the younger Nina was trying to work.
Yes.
Um, but as you stated earlier, I do have a BS in microbiology. That was my passion. When I went to college, I knew exactly what I wanted to major in
Mm-hmm.
because of my earlier experience during my high school years. I used to volunteer at the microbiology lab at the VA where
Mm.
my mom worked.
Oh, wow.
So she's the one that got me interested in, it was just a lot of neat things going on in the microbiology lab.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, this is what I want to do when I go to college.
Yeah.
So I specifically sought out colleges with that particular degree. And that's how I ended up at the University of Alabama.
Yes.
But once I finished, as I started working on finishing the degree up, I started looking for jobs because I wanted to work.
Mm-hmm.
I was ready to, in school, you ain't making no money. So yeah. So I actually had received an offer letter from the VA in Birmingham
Mm-hmm.
to I had a job.
Yes.
So I was just super ecstatic. I was like, oh yes, it's on now.
Mm-hmm.
When I told my mom, she was less than enthused. She was like, I think you need to keep on going. Once you stop, you ain't gonna go back. And
Yes.
yeah, she was right. Because as I started working, I doubted I probably would have gone back to school.
Of course.
Um, so unbeknownst to me, she worked her magic in the background, and I got a call from a close family friend
Mm-hmm.
who worked at the University of Alabama in Huntsville. His name was Dr. Adriel D. Johnson Sr.
Yes.
Um, and he gave me a call and asked me, I've been talking to your mom, and I was like, oh great, here we go. So
Uh-huh.
he asked me what I thought about going to graduate school. I was like, I really hadn't given it any thought.
Yes.
But I heard him out. I listened to what he had to offer, and he said that you could get paid to go to graduate school. And I was like, what?
Yes.
I can get paid to go to
Uh-huh.
school?
Uh-huh.
So, needless to say, that's where I ended up. So I turned down the offer at the VA, and I went on to school, and it started from there.
Wow.
So I have to credit my entry into graduate school to Dr. Johnson.
Wonderful. And
So I had no intention of dietetics wasn't even in the picture
yes.
at the time. So that was a huge change, a
Wonderful.
big shift.
But hey, let me say this: mothers know best, and mother,
Yes, I
mother,
have to give it
like
to
you
her.
said,
She
mother was
worked
talking to
that.
the people who, of course, you said Dr. Johnson.
Dr. Adriel D. Johnson
Yeah,
Sr.
Dr. Johnson Senior. Mother talked to Dr. Johnson, and Dr.
Yeah,
Johnson
he
did the
worked.
rest of the work.
She
And
worked that. She worked that on out. She
she
was like, "Oh
did.
no, my child is going to keep going." I do thank her for that, because I
So
wouldn't be where I am today without
without it,
that
yes.
start. Yeah,
So
yeah.
so let me ask you. So you said you would not have done that and gone to grad school, and so what made you transition then into the world you're in today, being to be a registered dietitian,
What
nutritionist?
what got me interested in the nutrition field?
Yeah.
Well, actually, let me go back. It was during actually towards the end of my undergraduate years.
Mm.
Coming to school for the first time and, being away from home, you pretty much could do what you want to do.
Yes.
And as for me, it was the nutrition thing, coming from a household where my mom had excellent eating habits. We didn't eat like most of my friends. We had
Yes.
all of the healthier, versions of everything. So I often wonder, why can't we have just regular food? Unbeknownst to me,
Yeah.
that's how I would be eating years on down the road. I
Yeah.
didn't see it then. I
Yeah.
did not see it then. So when I went off to school, I just ate whatever I want. And it
Yeah.
was,
Of
I
course.
think about what I ate as an undergraduate, and it's just, I can see why I got sick.
So you
Because
got sick from that.
oh yeah, I was just eating all kinds of I was just wilding out. And I noticed it was the end of my, I would say the beginning of my junior year. I started feeling, every time I ate, I just felt ill,
Hmm.
and I
Hmm.
didn't know, I didn't attribute that to my dietary intake at that time.
Of course not.
So it just went on and on and on. And I think I let it just go on until like the summer.
Hmm.
And I just couldn't take it anymore. So I ended up going to the doctor. And that's where he diagnosed, oh, you have a very bad case of reflux. Just a really
Mm.
bad case. I had lost a lot of weight. Of course, I didn't notice because I wasn't really looking at myself like that. But,
Yes.
people were thinking, oh, is Nina on something? I'm like, what's going on with
Yeah. Yeah.
her? And it was just, yeah, it was really eye opening
So let
that
me
that could have all been prevented by watching what I was eating.
so let me ask you, when you went to school, you said you had healthy eating habits at home. Again, y'all
Oh,
mom
yeah,
was,
we had no choice.
yeah, mom again, mother was on top of it. And
Yeah.
and so
Yeah.
so how long was the period from that, if you can just think of just kind of roughly,
Mhm.
when you left home, of course, was it that first year you really started, because you thinking everybody else partying, Nina sitting here,
As
y'all
as
trying to
as
stuff down all the bad
as
food
soon
and
as soon as I hit the campus, that first breakfast, I was like, oh, I can have Fruit Loops.
no.
I can have this and I can have that. So that was my just a whole bunch of
Okay.
processed foods, convenience foods. Living in a dorm, you don't really have access to all this
Of course
fancy
not.
cooking equipment and stuff. So you come up with some meals now.
So how long was the period from your, leaving home until you went to the doctor? At least it was that freshman year.
Oh, no, 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 no.
It
That
was.
was like maybe 2.5 to 3 years down the road.
Oh
This
wow.
is years
So you
of
were just
just,
packing all the food
I
in there.
mean, I was packing it
Wow.
in and just not really care, not really giving it a second thought
Of
that
course.
my intake was actually affecting my overall. Because at that age, you're really not thinking about
Of course not.
reading no food labels and all of that kind of, ain't nobody thinking about doing that. No,
Exactly.
no,
So
no.
you went to the doctor, and then you were, when they told you you had a very bad case of reflux. The technical term for it is gastroesophageal reflux disease.
There you go.
Everyone, reflux. So I had to get it because
You got it.
And tell us again, what is that when they told you that it was a bad case of reflux, what did you say? And then I want
I
you to
was
tell
like,
us
well,
also
what
what
is
that is.
that? I mean, the
Yeah.
simplest way that the doctor put it to me was, okay, so we did this swallow, this barium swallow test. And I actually watched it go down and then watched it come right on back up. I was
Yeah.
like, so what I was consuming, it was trying to come back up to the top. And that's
Yeah.
not the most comfortable feeling at all. At
Yes.
all. And I asked him, well, how did this happen?
Yeah.
Why did this happen? We talked about dietary habits. That was the first thing I thought about. I was like, oh wow. So I've really been doing a whole bunch of, things that would exacerbate reflux,
Hmm.
like junk food. I was like pizza, fried foods, fatty foods, spicy, a
Hmm.
lot of carbonated beverages, a little alcohol,
Yes.
yes, I'll say
Yes.
that.
Yes.
Um, chocolates and citrus and tomato. Yeah, you name it, I was eating it.
Wow.
I was eating it and just enjoying it. Enjoying it.
And those for some people, and everyone is symptoms can vary, right?
Oh
I'm
yeah,
sure,
it's
but
just certain
I
things don't
read those
affect
things.
everybody.
Yes. So tell me this: do they say what those types of food can help cause that for some people for it to happen more? Do
Hmm.
they say why? I mean, what is it? Is there a reason for some people that experience that more than others? It's
Well,
just
people,
a different.
everybody's different.
Yes. Yes.
Everybody, what may bother me might not bother somebody,
Of
may bother
course.
somebody else.
Of
So,
course.
and there's a way to, it's not like you have to cut out all of these foods. It's just the amounts that I was consuming was just too
Got
much.
you.
It was too much because I love pizza. Pizza is my favorite food.
I
And
saw that in your.
I was eating up some pizza as an undergraduate. I mean, just tearing it up.
Yeah.
But now I've learned to modify what I have on my pizza.
Everyone, that's the part we need to hear. Like she said, it's not like you
Modify.
can't eat these types of foods if
Mm-hmm.
these are some of your causes,
Mm-hmm.
if you experience this.
Mm-hmm.
But again, like you said, you just have to modify it, and you just shouldn't do it all the time.
Right.
And
Watch the
and just tell us
amounts.
this here, when you say you modify it, tell us just briefly, how do you modify yours in what way?
Well, first of all, I took the tomato sauce off my pizzas.
She's like,
I've gotten used to not having the tomato sauce because I noticed when I do occasionally have a slice with the tomato sauce on it,
Mhm.
I get kind of, I get that feeling. And it's not to
Exactly.
say that reflux will go away permanently, but I can tell when I'm about to have a little tinge or a flare. Not very
Exactly.
often,
Mhm.
but it's definitely due to dietary intake. For me, it is
Yes,
that and stress and lifestyle habits and all that kind of stuff.
of
You slow
course.
down when you eat. I used to be a just eat like it's going to be taken off my plate.
Exactly.
No, slow down. Eat smaller meals. You don't have to gorge yourself, and definitely don't lie down before after you eat. That's a no-no for people who suffer with reflux. Well, you
Yes.
shouldn't be lying down after you eat anyway.
Yes.
That's
And
a
that's
recipe
something I
for
read
disaster.
about that. Those same things they
Mhm,
said, don't lie down
mhm.
and eat smaller meals, like you said.
Right, right. And just yeah. I mean, like I said, it's different for everybody. I just
Yes,
know
it
what
is.
works for me.
And another thing I read is that some people they have to clear their throat and like has a cough. Is that something you've heard for some
Mm,
people with reflux?
ah, I'm trying to see that I have any of that. The clearing of the no, I mean,
No.
I could at the onset, I could feel stuff like coming up into my throat. Yeah, that's the
Okay.
reflux part. That's
Yes.
the part that can, over time can damage your esophagus if you're not
Yeah.
addressing it properly. So I wasn't
Okay.
trying to have that happen. So yeah, I did a quick turnaround on the intake. I started
Mhm. Mhm.
watching what I ate,
That was
and
okay.
the symptoms were alleviated. So that's all
Alleviated.
I gotta do to get that not to occur, then okay, it's on now.
Okay, Dr. Nina. Now that sometimes you will hear me go from Nina to Dr. Nina because
It's
this is
okay.
when I need the Dr. Nina.
Hmm.
Some people I just like with diets or someone being
And I try not to
diabetic
use that
or
four-letter word in my practice.
yeah. People won't do
diet.
certain. Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm sorry, y'all. That's a no. So we're gonna talk about that no word.
Yes,
So,
please.
and everyone, let me tell you, we're only really dealing with reflux. I know she deals with so much more. We're dealing with that only because that was part of her experience,
Hmm.
and part of why that helped, give her a passion too for the world that she's in, even though, it's still not the only reason why you became an
No.
RDN, or is it? Okay, I just wanted
No,
to make
no,
sure.
no,
Yeah,
no,
it's
no.
not the only reason, but I just wanted to highlight that part because she dealt with this um with reflux. And a lot of
And I
people
and I
do.
can relate to those who come to me with a history of that. So I can
Yes.
relate to that. I know exactly how they feel.
Yes, because I can sit here and pop, like I say, think of 2 or 3 people that I've known that really experienced this. And some people just, discount it and yeah, it's reflux and just let it go.
But I don't take that lightly
Yeah.
because I
Say
done
no,
been
not
through
for
that
you.
and it is no fun.
So is there anything that some people can do? I've heard people try to say drink apple cider vinegar.
Oh,
Uh
oh, gee.
I know
And then when they do that,
eliminate the
sometimes they don't
dairy
do
from your
that
diet.
right. Mm-mm.
That's
Mm-mm.
not something you've heard. There's
Mm-mm.
so many things out
I
there
mean,
like you.
they say apple cider vinegar. You can use that for everything.
I know.
So, and I don't have anything against apple cider vinegar. I use it a lot, but it's usually when I'm cooking or
Yeah.
things like that. I
So
don't have
you're
an
trying to
issue with
say
it.
it, yeah, because right, yeah, people with high blood pressure take it for that, and
And
yes,
I don't discount all these remedies. I don't. I mean, I can't say that it doesn't work. I can't say
yes,
that.
but
So I tell folks, whatever works for you, if that's what you believe that's gonna help you, then I'll go for it.
everyone, Dr. Nina is going to let you know she changed her eating habits. So any questions and all these little things that we've heard out there, everything is going to go back to the food we put in our body, part of it.
Everything. If I could
Yes.
get people to realize that,
Yes. That would solve a lot of issues for some
yeah,
of us, would it not? And that's what
yeah,
life
uh-huh,
in if some of us are looking at ourselves wanting to shed some pounds, that's,
uh-huh.
it's all of that. But I know it's so much more than just shedding pounds. It's
It
shedding the mind,
is.
it's shedding
It
so much more.
is. It is so much more than just weight loss. You have to look at other, other lifestyle factors. We don't just talk about food over here.
Yes. Yes.
Sometimes we just talk about other stuff, things that are going on in the client's life and,
Yeah.
you know.
Just I saw on your page a question
Mm,
you asked your potential clients. You asked,
mm.
has diet culture harmed you the way it
And
has most people?
most people, yes,
So tell me, what do you
can.
mean by that? What is
I
diet
said, I
culture?
mean, have you, for me, when I hear the term diet culture, I think of something like thin is in. If you're not thin, then you're a total loser.
Mm-hmm.
That's what most people, that's how they're thinking, and they're looking at social media and just the internet in general. Just
Mm-hmm.
uh, if they're not thin, then they're just not happening, and that's just
Mm-hmm.
not your self-worth is not based on your weight.
Exactly.
They put
Exactly.
all the scales up in the attic.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I want because people, I mean, clients get really discouraged when they hop on that scale and it doesn't say what they think it should say.
Exactly.
Stop
Exactly.
it. Stop it.
Because like they say, the one thing it does, it contributes to our mental health concern,
Yes.
and leads into
Yes.
the eating disorders.
Eating this. Yes. Yes. Anything to
Mm-hmm.
be thin. Why you want to be thin?
Exactly.
Who said it was in to be thin?
Yes. Diet
Uh-uh.
culture.
Yeah, exactly. That's why it just makes me so upset sometimes. The stories that I
Yeah,
hear from clients that are reaching out, and it's just my mission is to change your way of thinking with regard to
exactly.
food, with regard to weight and all of that.
So
Just
let me
stop.
ask you this. So when your guests come, I mean your clients come in,
Hmm.
and of course, if the ones who are coming in saying, okay, I want to drop 10 pounds, tell me to
Hmm.
eat this, tell me not to eat this so I can lose my 10 pounds and be gone. What do you
And that's
say? What's
and then I tell them that we're starting off on the wrong foot.
foot? Yeah,
What do you want? Why do you want it? Why do you want to lose weight? Why do you want to lose it so quickly?
exactly.
Weight loss done appropriately is not supposed to just drop off now.
Yes.
Most people are under that misconception that, I should be able to get this weight off. Everybody's different. And losing weight, that's work. You got to work at that.
Yeah, Dr. Nina, but I'm trying to go to that class reunion in 2 weeks.
Yeah, but then if after that class reunion, then what?
Exactly.
When clients come to me with desire to lose weight for like a certain occasion, or I said,
Yes.
well, you're starting off on the losing side already,
Exactly.
because you're not doing it for you. You're just doing it for some event or something. So what happens
Exactly.
after that event? Then you're gonna go back to doing what you were doing before then? You have to think long
Yes.
term.
Everyone, Dr.
Long
Nina is
term.
helping me, because let me tell you, Dr. Nina, and that's what I've done a lot in my past. When I have,
Everybody.
yes, that's exactly what I have
I
done.
got this trip I got to go on. I got this reunion I got to go to. I got this, I got that. Okay, well, now you're gonna have to give yourself enough time to get the weight off or whatever. And then a lot of the times there's not enough time.
Exactly.
You come and tell me you want to lose 30 pounds in a month. Stop.
Yes.
Stop it.
And I know for me, everyone, let me, I always try to use me for an example on this podcast. I have this love-hate relationship about carbs. Now, Nina, the one thing I've learned is I know I need it in my life. I know everything I need, the good fats and all of that. But it does, because of that diet culture, to make me feel like, oh God, everything white is bad. I don't need to eat it.
Carbs are from the devil. I hear I was like, well, people, when they say carbs, what kind of carbs are you talking about? You're talking about the processed, the refined carbs. Now you can stand and use a little less of those.
Yes.
But don't forget about your complex carbs, meaning the carbs that actually have fiber, like your whole grains, your beans, what else? Your fruits, your vegetables. Yeah. Why would you want to cut those carbs out?
Yeah.
I don't get it. I don't get it. And I know that certain people are just afraid of carbohydrates.
And again, how you bring it back. Everyone, let me tell you, sometimes that's why I believe I'm a proponent, of therapy, for the mind. It shows why we would need someone in our life like a Dr. Nina, because again, I've heard complex carbs. I don't want to look up complex carbs again, to remember that it's the fruits that can fall in there, and or the beans and all of the different things that come
and how
along.
Could you cut that out?
Yes, because we don't look at it as
how can you cut out the good parts of the carbs? And I hate to use the term good and bad, because that's an issue too.
Yes,
I don't like those two terms when it comes to food.
Okay,
it's just food. All food, it's food. There's no good, there's no bad. Now there's some that are less nutritious than others, but it's still food. You didn't eat bad. I hate when people say that. Oh, I ate bad this weekend. Well, why did you eat bad? Why do you consider that bad?
It's wonderful you said that again, Nina, because I saw something where someone said it, because if you say it's good or bad, you would think you bad, because you it goes in the mind.
Exactly.
Emotionally again.
Food has no moral value.
Yes, I love that.
So stop it.
Yes.
I will stop a client in mid-sentence if they say good and bad, and then they automatically know why I'm stopping them.
Yes.
Because they know I don't like those two terms. Not when it comes to food.
That's what someone who really is looking at it from this perspective. I love food has no moral value. No. It shouldn't. And you touched on the part I was going to ask you about too, and about the fiber. We hear so much about foods with fiber, of course, and why we should eat high. Tell us, what does fiber do for our bodies? I mean, how does it help? Why is it so important to us?
Well, I know the major thing it does for me is to regulate my gastrointestinal tract.
Yes.
When you start cutting out all these carbs, you're cutting out your fiber source too. And then you wonder why you're constipated.
Yes. And constipation is a lot, is huge. I never knew. Everyone, we're not going to try to be graphic, but
I have to talk about these things.
But it's a real thing that we have to talk about. When I've heard people say they didn't have a bowel movement in a day or two, and
Days. I'm
days.
like, and you're not rolling around on the floor like I would be?
Oh my
It is so uncomfortable. If I go past one day,
goodness. Yes.
I
I
can't
know my
several
body too, Nina,
days.
and I probably don't eat as as I'm getting back on trying to get back on track now. Get on track.
Okay.
I'm getting on track,
That's all you can
everyone.
do. Don't beat yourself up for not eating the way you think you should be eating. It's okay.
Yes. During COVID, I was surprised. My daughter and I, we did great. Kept the weight off. I was working out. I was doing inside the house, doing movement. I started working out more because I was working from home even more. And it kept the weight off good and was doing good. And then, of course, soon as things started opening back up, here I go to the restaurants again. And here I go grabbing this again. And I'm like, okay, they were saying get food, to sustain you, keep in the house. But yes, okay, I didn't need to get potato chips after things started opening back up.
The chips, that gets a lot of folks in trouble.
Oh, look, that's what, if you find a chip that has high fiber, let me know, Dr. Nina, because that is you said a pizza. I am a potato chip girl.
Oh, goodness. Start looking at these labels on these potato chips.
Exactly. But I digress. Let me go back to, but yes, people who don't have that bowel movement, it is major.
It's not normal now. It's not normal. But some people are used to that. They're like, oh, I go like every 3 or 4 days. That's like, but that's not normal, right?
Yes. I don't think people know that though.
It's not normal. So what you're eating for the past few days is still in your system. Think about it that way.
Yeah.
And you're still continuing to eat, and palate it's just sitting up in there getting hard and hard. And it's going to be hard to come out, which is not comfortable either.
Not at all.
So do your best to get your fiber in and your water. They go hand in hand.
Yes.
Don't be eating all that fiber and not drinking enough water because you'll still be backed up.
Yes. Really? Okay.
Yes.
Because the water just helps
helps keep things flowing.
And it does. And
it keeps you hydrated.
And you know what I've noticed, even for me, we go through the night period, no eating for at least, we'll just say 8 to 10 hours. It should be a little bit more. I keep water by my bed, a bottle of water. And in the morning.
So you drink water at night, Arlene?
In the middle of the night, I just take a sip.
Is your mouth dry, or do you just,
It's a little dry.
Okay.
And I just want water. I think I'm so used to it now. I just take a sip. So what is that, Dr. Nina? Okay, y'all.
You don't get up and go to, do you get up and go to the restroom?
Yes.
At night?
Oh, yes.
How many times?
Only once.
Okay. So, because I tell folks some folks get up 2 and 3 times a night to go to the restroom, but you know what that's doing is interrupting your sleep cycle.
Yes.
And that's not good. Even though some people are able to go back to sleep when they come from the bathroom, you're still going back to the beginning of your sleep cycle.
That's true.
So if you keep doing that, you're not going to get to that restful sleep that you need.
Okay. Everyone.
So I cut my water off at I would say 8 o'clock.
Really?
Because I'm not trying to be getting up going to the bathroom at night.
Really? Yes.
I need all the good sleep, quality sleep I can get.
And I must admit, even though that if I get up that one time, I have, yes, most times I go back to sleep, but it's a certain period of time. Yes, I don't. And so then I'm sitting there looking at my phone. I try to read my Bible scriptures or something. I do read Bible. Look, I try to read something positive to put in me since I'm up. Yes, and I'm up for the next 2 hours basically. And you're right. That's something we should pay attention to because it is interrupting our sleep. See, everyone, you'll get more from
Dr.
about
Nina. All types of lifestyle factors. We don't just talk about food now. We're about a whole bunch of stuff.
She talks about everything. It's the total package. And that's what you would want everyone out there in someone that you go to for help, to help us along in this, because we think we can just do it ourselves. I don't need to go to a Dr. Nina to help me with this, but we know we don't like reading labels. We know we don't like, that's not saying we won't have to, but it'll help us, teach us to be mindful and then really how to read it, because to make sure we are reading it the right way, let's say it that way, and not reading it from what someone told you on TikTok, how we should read. Oh,
Lord have mercy. I better stop listening to them folks. Unless they're dietitians. I'm not saying that all dietitians are right, but 9 times out of 10, we are.
with your expertise, what I know you would recommend most likely food, but would you as a dietitian recommend to your clients any supplements to
I'm
take?
not a huge supplement dietitian. I mean, I don't have anything against supplements.
Yes,
It's just that sometimes people just overdo it.
they do.
You
Okay.
know,
Yep.
usually on my initial assessment, I ask you to list supplements.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, we go through every single supplement. I just want to see what you're taking it for
Exactly.
and to see if sometimes you're doubling up. You know, this
Exactly.
supplement has this also. So you want to be careful about that.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
no, I don't have anything against supplements. I just like to know what you're taking it for. Because
Okay.
some people don't know why they're taking it.
That-
They're just taking it because they heard it. You heard. Where did you hear it from?
exactly.
So I get real technical.
Of course. Of course.
So I don't need you to be taking stuff that you don't need to be taking.
Exactly. And that makes sense. And that's why I wanted to ask you about that because, I don't do a lot of it. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm cautious of what you said. If
Mm-hmm.
one has the other stuff in it, making sure I don't overdo it because I'm taking maybe
Yeah.
completely vitamin D. I know my vitamin D levels, they
Mm-hmm.
had me take some.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was making sure if I took the other one that had all the other stuff, being mindful.
Right. Right.
But
You got to keep up with that. If you're going to be taking all these supplements, you got to know what you're
you
taking.
got to know what you're taking, everyone. We have to know. We have to be responsible for what
Yes.
we put in our own bodies. We have to take
Yes.
ownership of it
Mm-hmm.
and just be responsible about it. Let's
Yes.
talk a little bit, Dr. Nina, about the misconception. I read something about of whole grains, because I read something where it said if it brown does not mean it equals whole grain, and
Mm-mm.
enrich and
Whole grain has nothing to do with color.
exactly.
It
But
has to do with
we
the
think that.
composition. The composition, just like when people come and say, well, my doctor said I don't need to eat anything white.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
That's why I brought up the brown thing because we see just because it looks brown, oh, that's healthy bread right there. I'm not gonna even.
You still got to read them labels, people. Just because it says wheat bread don't mean that it's like, a whole grain, like
Yes,
100% whole grain.
yes.
You
And
want to go, yeah, you got to read labels.
we have to read it because even they were saying if you put that little, like you said, the wheat, you put that little picture of that wheat, the picture of a wheat on there, people think
If it
that's
had,
healthy and you don't read the
now,
labels and it's like,
right, you got to see, okay, well, how much of this is whole grains? Now, if it has the whole grain stamp, you can trust that it does have whole grains in it,
yes,
but it may not necessarily be 100% whole grain.
yes, exactly.
So yeah, so whole grains, I wouldn't, I don't hold anything against. I would rather you be eating whole grains than refined grains.
Exactly. So when with your clients, when you have people come in, because we hear again with all the trackers out there and everything, do we track calories? Do we do the fat? Do we do the fat minus the fiber?
Well,
Do we do
I mean, if you want to track your like food, I call it food journaling.
it's food
Now,
journaling?
I am a proponent of food journaling because that holds you accountable for what you're putting in your mouth.
Okay.
And that also helps me to help you. I need to see what you're eating.
Yes.
So if you're
Okay.
tracking that for me, we can go through and see, okay, you might be missing something here or there. We can add, I'm more about adding to
Mm-hmm.
rather than just telling you can't have. Because a lot
Exactly.
of people, when they reach out to a dietitian, they're terrified.
Yes.
I do have a question that I ask my clients, like, is this your first time working with a dietitian? If so, what do you think so far? What were you thinking before? Most of them were
Yes.
terrified. They thought that I was going to tell them they couldn't have this or they couldn't have that. That's not how I operate, y'all. No,
Wonderful. That's
I don't
wonderful.
preach deprivation because I'm a dietitian that loves to eat. I'm a
Look.
Southern dietitian. So
Oh, yeah.
I like to eat. I love to eat, and I
Yes.
know I do not eat healthy all the time. I do not.
Yeah.
I don't. I wouldn't sit there and tell that lie, but I'd say 80% of the time I am.
Yeah. And that's the key
I try
is
my
majority of
best.
the time
Hmm.
putting what's good for us in our bodies instead of
Hmm.
the opposite. And that's what gets us in trouble, everyone. I had to learn, even when I was just eating what I didn't, when I wasn't calling myself trying to lose weight, I was eating the same. And when I would eat those potato chips that I love more, I love, and I could eat for dinner if I could just eat those. Even when I would eat those potato chips, it made me understand, Arlene, you just don't eat it every night. Just eat some,
Right.
get a handful, just eat it, get it in, just get that taste and be done.
Yes,
And
get you that. Well, what you can do is you can stick to the serving size of the potato chip bag. I guarantee you it'll last longer.
they are wrong for
Measure it
that.
out. Just serving portion control is what gets most people in trouble.
Yes.
It's not that they're eating unhealthy, they're just eating too much.
Yes. The
Too
serving,
much.
they should be, they should not make that product with their serving sizes.
I know, because serving the potato chips, for most people, it's just not gonna get it.
Not at all. And that's why I even got to the point, everyone, we have to work things what works best for you. I had to at one point even buy the small bags of potato chips just to make sure I covered myself.
But it's not gonna help if you eat more than one bag.
That is correct, Nina.
Some people grab 2 bags at a time. I was like, well, now wait a minute now. Isn't it supposed to be the snack size and you getting 2 of them?
Yes, yes.
It's a mind thing.
It's a mind thing.
It is. It is. I just had to try to change your way of thinking about food. Food is supposed to nourish. You're supposed to eat when you're hungry. You ain't supposed to be eating when you're stressed out and depressed, and you're not eating to nourish your body.
Exactly. Exactly.
You're not at that time. You're not.
Of course. And that makes sense. Let me go back. Is it true that health problems are more prevalent among a particular ethnic group?
Well, I know my folks, we lead the pack. That's kind of some of the reason why I got into this, to help my people.
Yeah.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, kidney disease, heart disease, you name it, we got it. So that's my mission.
Has anything has ever been said to why we lead so many of these in these areas?
It's several factors: lifestyle factors, socioeconomic, economic conditions, things like that. You can't just pinpoint just one reason. There's a variety.
If we go further back to our ancestors, the foods they got and they had to eat, and even some of the meat I've heard that was part of the pig or the parts that they could afford, even to, like you said, and some of those things it was probably not the best. But I think our people,
but them folks were working.
They were exactly.
They wasn't just sitting around just twiddling their thumbs
and just eating on it.
They were eating to survive, to live.
Yes.
They were working.
Yes.
It's not like it is now. You eat all that stuff and then you just sitting back.
Exactly.
That's the problem.
Exactly.
That's the problem.
So let me go back. Let me tell you something while I'm talking about this, because I also want to, this is what women I know in general is the fibroids and the different things like that. But you said when I was reading your bio, the research you did focus on the effects of polyunsaturated fatty acids on human breast cancer cell adhesion. With this being Breast Cancer Month, is that something that that you if you remember, that was shocking to you, just to see how that plays a part? The foods.
I actually came across, I was interested in that particular research project because at the time, it was popular to suggest that the omega-3 fatty acids, like the heart healthy fats, had a role in decreasing your risk of breast cancer. And I wanted to know why.
Oh, wow.
So I wanted to go inside of the cell and see what was going on there. And I found it out. I found out why. Yeah, I could see why they would say that, because there's some changes in cell adhesion and all that stuff that goes on using those particular fatty acids. Okay. So that was very interesting to me. I always want to know why. I'm like, why do y'all say heart healthy fats are good, and why?
So what you're saying, that is two questions. Everyone you heard, she said she wanted to go into the cell. I peeped that as soon as she said that.
I needed to know.
She needed to go into the cell.
What's the mechanism? That's the research, Nina.
Yes, that's love it. I love it. So when you did that, and so the omega-3 fatty acids, it is a good thing for us. You're saying.
Oh yes, definitely.
It's a good thing for us.
Yeah, I already knew that. I just wanted to know why.
Yeah, you wanted to know why. So do you recommend that? Because that's a big another supplement that people should take. Or you say get it in the food, get it in our food.
Now when it comes to supplements and vitamins and minerals and all that kind of stuff, I prefer you get them from your food.
Yes. Got you.
You know, because your body knows the difference between vitamins and minerals from food than just vitamins and minerals from a pill.
Exactly.
It knows the difference.
But can we get enough sometimes, Dr. Nina?
That's what the supplements are for. They're supposed to
supplement that type of food
a healthy dietary. Yes, it's a supplement.
Y'all heard that, people?
It's not, so if you're eating enough foods that have heart healthy fats, you don't need the fish oils and the krill oils and all that kind of stuff. You don't need that. If you're eating it already, I mean, what's the point?
Yes, exactly. Makes sense. Okay, everyone, we keep hearing it. And if you're out there about to make dinner tonight with that salmon, do not load it with butter, Arlene.
Oh no. Salmon is one of those easy. You can do a whole lot with salmon. You don't need a whole bunch of butter. Actually, I don't use butter at all. Not for my salmon.
Exactly. So. Okay, because
but I do use butter, not margarine.
You use butter, not margarine. Yes, I've stopped buying the margarine. Tell us though, Dr. Nina. Since everyone, you see this I got 101 questions that I probably should stay on.
It's all good.
What's the difference tell everyone, is there a difference between the butter and the margarine?
Margarine is manufactured. Butter is not.
You heard that, everybody?
Butter is not, and butter tastes so much better.
It does.
How could you not want butter if you have a choice between butter and margarine? Why would you choose margarine?
Yes. So, Dr. Nina, tell me, what is you say you have medical nutrition, you do medical nutrition therapy.
Medical nutrition therapy. People always want to know, what is that? What is that? It's just a way of counseling that allows me to manage, certain chronic conditions that a person may have, like diabetes and high blood pressure and high cholesterol, by creating an individualized nutrition plan for that person.
Okay.
It's just a form of nutritional counseling.
Which is wonderful. That's what we need, especially if people got those concerns.
So I just basically give you the tools that you need to manage your chronic conditions.
Exactly.
By altering your dietary intake.
Exactly. Okay.
Or making sure it's the right thing for you to be doing. So, we do that by creating goals that are realistic now.
Yeah.
I focus on realistic goals, not just pulling goals out the air. Make it realistic. So
yes.
So I pretty much just take a look at your current eating habits, lifestyle, assess your nutritional status, and then we work together to develop a personalized nutrition treatment plan.
Okay. And I want to go into something else about one of the programs you offer. But before I touch on that, I want to go back to this. I know we kind of laughed about, said something about it, but what is your opinion, Dr. Nina, with all the fad diets that are out there, like the keto and intermittent fasting and all those different things out there? What's your take on hearing about those that's so big in our diet culture, in the diet culture?
Well, now, Lead, I like I said at the beginning, I don't put people on diet.
Yes.
I don't not
see people say
diets,
keto, but is that they call it a diet? They're saying it's I'm on keto.
Yeah, I've been doing keto. I was like, well, now how is that going for you? Is keto sustainable for you? Well, there are some people out there that they can do keto forever, but I'm not one of them.
Yes.
I'm a carbohydrate lover, but I tend to happen to love the ones that are gonna actually be helpful to me. The complex carbs.
Yes.
Again, the carbs with the fiber in.
Exactly. And I know, like we said earlier too, everyone is different, but like you say, is it sustainable, or how can a person really do that lifestyle all their life unless they really putting some I don't know how they could. I'm not saying they can't. I'm not saying that.
I'm not saying they can't, because there are some who do. Yeah. I just don't understand. I'm like, I don't know how they're doing it, but they do it. But to me, the keto diet, and I know I'm going to offend a lot of the keto practitioners out there, or people who are actually doing the keto diet. I don't think it's sustainable.
Yes.
I don't think you can't do that for the rest of it. If it's something that you can't do for the rest of your life, then why try? Why start it?
Why?
Because once you stop doing it, then what's going to happen?
That's the great point right there.
Yeah. If you stop doing this quote unquote diet, then what's going to happen?
Yes. Wow.
Then what's going to happen? And you have to understand. A lot of people don't understand the biology or the biochemistry behind a keto diet, and I care not to even go into detail because I might lose some folks. So it's just not. I know the science behind it, and it's just for me. It wouldn't work.
Exactly.
Not to say it wouldn't work for others, but I just it's not sustainable.
Exactly.
And I say that to every client who comes to me who has tried it in the past, of course.
Yes.
They're no longer doing it because they couldn't do it.
Of course.
So,
Wow.
and of course they did it for a quick, everybody wants to do stuff quickly, quick, fast, in a hurry.
Yes. I
Yes.
agree.
You're going to have to work for this now.
Exactly. I just said the other day, again, we don't go to the gym expecting to come out with ripped abs. Same day.
You're going to have to work it down on it. I tell everybody got a six pack. It's just up under a few things.
It's there.
Yeah.
Just got to do the work, be patient.
You have to do the work. A lot of people don't want to work for it. They just want it to just happen.
Yes.
And that's just the wrong mindset. Well, especially if you're working with me. That's not the mindset to have.
Of course.
If you're going to be working with Nina.
That makes sense.
No.
So Dr. Nina, tell me about, I read you have something called Nina's 7 nutritional values.
You want me to go?
No. I just want to know, is that a program you offer? That's something you go through?
No, those are just the things that I build my business on some of the values that I tend to focus on during the course of working with my clients. I teach them how to distinguish between those foods that are going to actually help you and those foods that are just not going to do anything for you. That's the way you should look at every time you eat. Think about it. Is this food going to actually help me, or is it just not going to do nothing for me?
It's just going in the body.
Is it providing some sustenance, or is it just going in and doing nothing?
Wow, that's a good way to look at it.
So if you stop to think about it, then maybe, just maybe, you won't eat it. If it's something that you don't need.
That makes sense, everyone, to think of it that way.
Just think, you have to think, talk to yourself before you shovel something in your mouth. First of all, are you hungry? Are you hungry? You ate an hour ago. Why are you eating again?
And you know what? A lot of times, Dr. Nina, we're not thinking. We're just, like you said, we're just putting it in our mouth, just looking at TV or whatever we're doing and just chewing.
And that's the problem. Eating and watching TV. You're not focused.
Yes.
You focus on the TV. You're not focused on what's on your
stuffing.
plate.
And if I got those bag of potato chips, you're saying all I'm gonna just
it's gonna be gone. You're gonna be scraping the bottom of that potato chip bag if you watch
easy
TV.
to do.
They'll all be gone.
It's so easy, everyone. We know that.
I do it. I do it.
And we need to be mindful with our food. If it's not gonna if it's not nutritious for our bodies, we probably should think about it, or adding to it
just
the way she said it. Just think about it before
you eat.
That's a great point. So
think before you eat.
So tell me, Dr. Nina, as it's amazing to me, believe it or not, the time, how fast it starts to go. Everyone, I want you to go check out her website. She's going to give us all of that information later, but she has a blog that she's going to tell us how you can reach out to her. But we've touched on all 3 of these things. She has a blog called Constipation. Here's how you can prevent it. Tips to.
And the blog topics change every week.
They change every week.
They may range from, depending on what I want to talk about, what's most important to my clients or potential clients. And those are just some of the hot topics that I like to touch on from time to time.
Okay. So they may go out there and not see some of the ones you have out there today.
Oh no, they're gonna always be there,
good.
But they probably won't be like the first and foremost. You probably have to click
to it at some point.
To previous.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but I do talk a lot about fiber, constipation, and
I love the one you had tips for eating healthy while working from home, which
because a lot of people just lost it. It's just that their refrigerator and that pantry is just steps away
from the laptop,
and they just think they're supposed to be eating all day long. No.
Yeah.
Planning is key, especially if you're working from home. You got to have a plan.
Exactly.
Got to have a
I
plan.
love that.
So
So everyone check out her page, as we'll give it to you in a few minutes, but I have one or two other questions I want to ask Dr. Nina. Tell me, what is a misconception people have about dietitians that if you've heard of anything? I know you said you asked people what do they know, but I think that's what
that she's gonna tell me that I can't eat any of my favorite foods anymore.
And everyone, she's told us that's not true.
That's like they're just terrified. Like, oh gosh, she's gonna give me some awful meal plan. I don't do meal plans. Well, actually, I do have a meal planning program. Yes. But as far as people just calling and asking for a meal plan in the past, I'm like, the average person will get their meal plan, they'll follow it for like a week, and then they're tired of it.
Yes.
But the meal planning program that I have now is nothing like your ordinary meal plan. So the client is actually in charge.
Client is in charge. Oh, good. So everyone, she's not just gonna give us beans. Beans only.
We don't just hand out beans. And my best friend says she's not gonna just prescribe air sandwiches and water. I'm not gonna do that to you. I'm just gonna teach you how to nourish your body the proper way. Exactly. And I want you to put your health and your wellness first. Yeah. And when we get off track, forgive yourself and move on now. Because we all have those times where we just eat what we want to eat.
Of course.
I don't want you to feel bad about it either.
Of course. But I noticed on your website too, she accepts some insurance.
Oh yeah, that's a big.
You can't go to your keto TikTok friend, and nothing wrong with them out there. We just she accept. You go on her website. I love that. When I saw that, I'm like, I didn't put together, even though you're licensed, and RDN.
We take insurance over here, so if your insurance will pay for it, let them pay for it instead of you paying out of your pocket.
Yes. So check into that and get on track.
And a lot of people don't know that their insurance will actually pay for nutrition counseling.
Yes.
So please use that, because they're not gonna
tell you.
I'm telling you, they will cover.
Yes. And that's wonderful. I did not know that either, Nina. And like she said, I'm pretty sure it's, you have to check in with certain ones,
we'll run we'll verify your benefits and all that kind of stuff. And
that's beautiful.
But yes, we do accept insurance.
Wow.
Yes, we
love it.
We do.
So tell us, and the past listeners out there, Dr. Nina, everyone should want to work with her.
Of course. I've not gotten any complaints so far.
Yes, because I've seen some of your clients on your website who definitely who has worked with you already or are working with you. So tell us, do you have any events or courses, seminars that's coming up?
I do actually have a 10-week online nutrition and lifestyle coaching program. I like to call it a boot camp because you have to do something every day. Coming in, we're going to start in January the 4th of next year. So this particular program is for you if you are tired of the same old diets, the same old weight loss promises. You want a new approach to reaching your health and fitness goals. And if you have problems or trouble staying consistent, consistency is a huge issue with a lot of my clients. Consistency. So that if that's what you're seeking, then that program is for you.
Wonderful. And that starts January 4th, 2023.
January 4th next year.
Everyone, you got,
and it'll be up on the website. I'll probably have something posted up there, I would say next month, mid next month. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. So just go to the website for the updates on that program if you're interested.
Yes. And you do have a part on there too where people can go ahead and register,
Oh yeah.
So they can get your waiting list and get on your information. So tell us again, what is your website? Tell us your how to connect with you.
It is ninasnutritionalvalues.com.
ninasnutritionalvalues.com.
.com.
Awesome. And so that's where you can find out information how to work one-on-one. And
Yes.
even with that coming, do you do anything if someone reaches out to you and just want to see, just, okay, Dr. Nina, I want to have that conversation with you, just 5-10 minutes, or do you do anything like a discovery call?
Oh yeah, like
Okay.
I get a free 15-minute discovery call.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just to let you know what I'm all about and what I have to offer.
Okay.
Yeah. I do offer that. I get
You
those
get
a lot.
those. Okay. And everyone, if you
Mhm.
please reach out to her. And again, we will put all of her information in the show notes for you, because as again, we've said, she comes with the receipts and she's done the work for us, everybody. And so, Dr. Nina, I always love to ask my guests, tell me some any last thoughts, or it's something I didn't mention that is important that you would want everyone to hear about being, eating better, or what, something that you would just want to share with the audience today.
Well, the thing that I like to tell my clients, especially those who are maybe struggling, at the time, give yourself some grace for your journey. Stop beating yourself up. It's life. Things happen. Just remember to give yourself grace for the journey, because it is a journey. It's not an overnight thing. That's not going to happen.
Exactly.
So just stay focused, stay encouraged, stay consistent with everything that you do and try to better yourself. So I try to uplift, I try to encourage whenever I can.
Exactly. Wonderful.
So yeah, I'm the accountability partner that you've been looking for.
Yes. We just need to take better care of ourselves, everyone. And that's something a lot of us, I know, we're looking forward to doing more of. But Dr. Nina, I want to thank you for coming on today.
Oh, thank you.
And is there anything else still with your website or your programs, anything else that you want to offer us today to the past listeners about our nutrition and moving forward?
Well, I do invite, anyone who's interested to come, give me a call or reach out to me, and I'd be glad to help.
Wonderful.
I'm always willing to help.
And everyone, let's get ready for that 10-week boot camp.
That's right. I'm calling it a boot camp instead of a workshop. I want to say boot camp.
Let's get this thing started. And
get your mind right.
Let's get our mind right, our minds. And it comes out in other forms, what we look forward to as well. The mind is important, the body is important, our spirits are important, and our money is important. So, we have to really take care of ourselves and make it and be intentional. That's my word, everybody. Intentional about everything we do.
Intentional with it. Yes, ma'am.
So
I agree.
And to end the show, everyone, I'll finish out with something I read from Dr. Nina's page, but I'll start with all the overwhelming nutrition information out there, knowing what's right for you can be challenging. When it comes to our health, I don't believe there's a one-size-fits-all program. That is the reason it is important to connect with someone like Dr. Nina Hill to help educate and guide us with the information that is specifically tailored to each individual person. And that's what she'll do for us. Dr. Nina said, "Dear you, who may be struggling with weight management or emotional eating or nagging health issues, we at Nina's Nutritional Values understand your frustration because we've been there too. And hey, we have some really good news. We can help you live healthier and happier." That is her goal, everyone. Dr. Nina, I can't thank you enough for coming on here, and I look forward to me and everyone else reaching out to you to help us live healthier and happier. So thank you for coming on.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Until next time, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for hanging with us. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and other platforms, so you can stay up on our bi-weekly, real conversations with these bold women. You can follow The Path Podcast on Facebook at The Path Podcast and on Instagram and Twitter at The Path _podcast. podcast. And if you would like to be a guest on the show or have questions for a future show, you can email us at thepath4ward@gmail.com. That's thepathforward@gmail.com. And if you're looking for a speaker or you're in need of a life coach, please reach out to me. Again, at thepathforward@gmail.com or at ACKORLEH@gmail.com. Thank you. Until next time.